YouTube pards. Jack Spade back here with you at High Noon Leatherworks for another adventure in leather. So today we're going to start a new project, and we're going to do something we haven't done on the channel before. We're going to do some wet forming. So we're going to build a cell phone case or a cell phone holster, and we're going to wet form it. So come on in and let's get started. To wet form on something like a cell phone holster, first of all, you need a mold, because once you wet form leather, it will stay, and it cures or dries, it'll stay in that shape. So basically what I did was I took my cell phone and I took some soft pine wood and drew me out a pattern, and I found some wood that was about the thickness of the phone, and well, a little thicker actually, so it'll slide in and out of the holster. And then I drew my phone out on the wood, cut it out, and then I just sanded till it was round edged, just like my phone. Then I took the other piece of wood that I cut that out of and sanded it down on the inside until I had my spacing of the thickness of the leather that I'm going to use. So if you take a look at the leather that I cut, it fits right down in that groove on both sides and on the back. So on the front, that'll be open so that my cell phone can slide in and out. But we'll wet form this, and how we'll do that is using this pattern or this mold that I made out of wood. We will moisten the leather in warm water. I have a pan of warm water here, and we don't want to just soak it, we just want to get it good and moist. And then we'll take some other 1x material, and once we press that wet leather into this mold, then we'll actually take these other 1x's, put them across the top of the mold, and then we'll clamp it down. So we'll use some of these portable clamps. And then it's just a waiting game. Then you just wait. I normally wait overnight and pull it out of the mold the next day, and I'll actually show you on the next video pulling it out of the mold so that you can actually see what that looks like. So let's go ahead and start on this. First things first, we're going to take our piece of leather, and I'd say this is about 1/8 of an inch thick. And again, this water is not hot, it's just warm, barely warm. And a lot of times when I wet form a holster to a gun, I'll actually just take my leather holster into the kitchen underneath the sink so that I can control the amount of water that piece of leather is getting on it. So again, I'm not just going to throw a piece of leather in a tray of water and just let it sit and soak up water. I'm moving that around. But doing wet forming this way, you can feel, take it out, feel it, you can feel how pliable it's getting. I mean, Look how pliable that is now. And it stays in that shape when you, just like that, when you roll it up. I'm not holding that, it's just staying in that shape. So you can feel, once that whole entire piece feels like it's nice and soft and almost rubbery, then it's ready to wet mold. So I'll let the excess water drip off of it, and then I'm going to move it over to my mold. And again, I want this edge is going to be my open edge to where I put my foam down in. So take my outer mold and just start pushing it down. And you just keep that in there good and tight. And just keep pushing it down. And then I'll take the first board, put it across the front so that I can use one clamp. I want to squeeze that down real good and tight. Then I can take my second board that goes all the way across my bottom board, and I want to make sure I get it all the way to the back so that keeps that from moving. And I'll just snug that up so that I can turn this and get my third clamp on the other side. And then again, snug that down. You know, obviously don't want to break the board, but you want to snug it down to where it cannot move. And then recheck your front one. Make sure it's good and tight. And then you can actually see on the ends, on the edges here, of that force of that pressure on that leather, how it's curling that up because it's so damp. So it looks like it's, I want to take a look right here on the end, make sure it's good and tight in there, and it looks great on that end. The sides right here in the mold looks great. So one more time, I'll check the tension on my clamps, and we're good to go. So now we'll just set our mold up, and we'll wait till tomorrow morning, and then we'll release the clamp and the mold, and we'll have our molded piece of leather for our cell phone case. So our leather's in here being wet formed, and I'll let it sit overnight. Then I'll come back in the morning, I'll take it out, and I'll have that on the next video. We'll do the reveal of our wet mold. So please come back, check that next video out. And as I always say, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.